Hello there. So I'm just about to animate some birds at the moment. I'm trying to improve this website footer that I've made. It's a load of SVGs that I'm animating to make it feel serene, calm, just like you'd want it to feel for this nursery website. And as you can see, I've got some moving clouds. And what I'm trying to get to is a few more elements in this scene to have animation. So I've got these static birds at the moment, so I'm going to jump into Figma, and I just grabbed from the internet some sketch of a bird flying, and my theory is that I'm going to just draw over this using whatever Figma tools I can get my hands on to make vectors. And then in the front end of the website, I'm just going to step through each layer of each SVG as a layer to hopefully create something smooth as an animation. It'll have a steppy feel to it. It won't be completely smooth. I don't really know how to kind of animate all the points smoothly and seamlessly. So I'm just going to do it this way, which I feel could still be a really nice effect, and I can style it the way I want to. My first stage now, what I'm doing is I'm creating a frame kind of that's going to house all of these layers. So I'm going to keep this back, this thing here, this actual image of the birds, I'm going to keep still, and then I'm going to move my frame over each one. And you might notice that the relationship between the number and the bird's body changes. So as the bird flaps down, you can see it's moving up in the relationship. It's kind of, as it flaps its wings down, its body moves up, like that, see? So I've got this little tiny pink box that I've wrapped around this number to use as a reference, so that then when I move my frame around, I can then put it over that, and then hopefully then my next frame will kind of like follow the course of the bird moving up and down as the illustrator originally intended. So yeah, I'm going to try and draw all these layers now. I won't talk, I'll probably fast forward this part, and then we can see how we get on at the end of it all. Okay, so I've managed to now get the bird to have a total of 14 frames where it animates, as you can see. And I'm taking it across now to my code editor. I've just exported this particular group, this frame in Figma, as just one SVG, because each of these has got sort of a load of paths on it, and I was playing around with that. So here I've got the EB bird little component here, which the template for it, this view component, is just the SVG with just a ref on it. And what I do is, let's go up to the code here. I've got a template ref that is the SVG itself, and a current step variable, and then I've got an array of paths, which is all of the different paths. As you can see, there's lots of them here. Each one is like half a wing, a head, a body, and the other half of the wing. So it's like, if you saw in the animation, in the illustration I was doing, each layer's got 4 elements. It's got 2 wing elements, a head and a body. So I'm doing everything in groups of 4, and I've got an on-mounted hook which sort of grabs all of the paths and assigns them to my variable, and then I basically just hide them all straight away. I was keen to like just be able to come back here and paste over this template if I wanted to, if I want to tweak the animation. So I did everything in code rather than starting to kind of like hide them in the HTML, and then if I pasted it back in again, I'd have to redo all that work. So this does it for me. It just sort of hides everything. It sets the fill of the SVG path to the current color, and that allows me to then override that with a text color, so I can use a nice color. I'm hiding the stroke of the path, and then I'm giving it some classes, and then I've got a set interval loop which basically runs every X milliseconds, which I've got here, and it runs this function called animate. And the animate function simply builds up a little array of like indexes. So because we start on 0, it's the 0th start path, and we want to do the 0, the 1, the 2, and the 3 all together, because that's one bird. It's the 2 wings, the head, and the body. So for each of those, I turn them on. I set the opacity to 1, and then for all the other paths, I make sure that then the opacity is 0. Once I've done that, I'm showing one bird, and then I increment the step, which basically sort of steps it up by 4. Here I've got layers per bird, 4. Here, so it basically increments it, or if we're kind of near the end of the list, then we go back to 0 again. Okay, and then what we get, and here's the big magic result, is we get this. So I've got 2 of them in place, and they animate like this, and they're cool. I mean, I'm quite happy with them. They're a little bit jumpy, but I could spend some time maybe doing some better transitions with the opacity, because I don't think that's working at the moment. It's too fast for it to register, so I'd like it to almost be smoother. And also, just the other thing that I did is in the footer template here, I've just got a little wrapping flex div, and that kind of just loads up 2 of these little EB birds, and I've set their speed to be slightly different, and that is how we get that kind of offset between the 2 birds slightly differently flapping their wings. If I refresh the page, you can see at the start they're kind of in sync, and they slowly drift out of sync as the animation goes. And because this nursery website, you know, this is in the footer of the website, by the time the user gets to the bottom of the page, they'll be in this sort of state where they're kind of already out of sync. And yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So the great thing is I can kind of tweak the color of them, so I can make them red and I can make them bigger. So it's just CSS. So there's a bigger bird now and red, and you can totally add as many as you want and change the speed of them. Enjoy.